Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, going to go over an article titled, I'm divorcing my wife over her OnlyFans account, I can't stand the shame. And guys, this story is about a husband, who's been with his wife a number of years. It sounds like they have a couple kids together. One is a daughter, 11 years old, now how old the other one is. A long story short, out of the blue, his wife decides she wants to do an OnlyFans account to make a bunch of money and all that. Turns out that her friends, ding, 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 her friends, were talking to her about how much money she can make and all that type of crap. And from the get-go, they said, not happening. Lay down the law. You're not doing this. This is not what I married. And if you do, we're done. Well, as you can imagine, she pretty much said F you to him and did anyway. And now he's kicking her to the curb. And as you can imagine, this has turned into a shitstorm online because you've got people that are totally agreeing with the husband and the father here, which I certainly do. And you got the people that are defending the mother for all sorts of stupid, boneheaded reasons. And at the end of the day, he's doing, which a lot of guys absolutely should do. And I think it's awesome. And I'm going to recognize him in this video by doing that. But I'm doing this, guys, for a bunch of reasons. Number one, obviously, to recognize a guy that's standing his ground, standing up for not only himself, but also his kids, because of the negative impact this is going to have on the kids, and you'll see more in a minute. But also, guys, to really make the point across that there's a reason, one of the main reasons why you have the generation that we have right now behave the way they do. I'm talking about the kids, the teens, the 20-somethings, even going so far as the 30-somethings, mixing the Gen Z millennials. There's a reason they act the way they do, because of shitty parenting. Because you got parents nowadays, and for a while now, that they themselves act like kids, act like teenagers that never grew up. Hence the way they're just glued to their phones, they're glued to social media, the posts they make, both men and women, but especially women when it comes to you have mothers in the 30s and 40s showing skimpy pictures of them on Instagram, videos on TikTok, Facebook, going as so far as OnlyFans. What is that? What kind of parenting is that? Is any wonder that kids behave the way they do, that they're so disrespectful, so entitled, so immature? It goes on and on because they have lousy parents, bad parents. But I'm going to get more into that at the end of this article and really address the subject because I think it's a very important thing to talk about. It's only going to continue to get worse in the Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0 world until the parents are actually acting like parents. So, starting off, he says here, the article says, a husband has said that he is leaving his wife after she started an OnlyFans account, stating he is uncomfortable with her decision and says her 11-year-old daughter is being bullied. A man has said he is filing for divorce after she started the OnlyFans account, and it really is dividing opinion. The husband explained that his wife has always been very active on social media and gained thousands of followers on Instagram through her posts. What I tell you guys about your women, your girlfriends, your wives, fiancés, being on social media, it's a bad idea. Now, it's one thing to have, say, an Instagram account where it's a private account, only you can invite people in or they can request to come in, friends or family, where, say, a mom has pictures of the family cutting down the Christmas tree at Christmas, or with the new dog, the puppy they just adopted, or the kids at graduate, something like that, no problem. Friends and family only. But when she has her own account, was just her showing pictures of her doing squats and lunges at the gym, her in her little outfits, out on girls' night and everything, and it's open to anybody to observe and join, that's a problem. That is a gateway drug to bigger things because they get attention by showing certain outfits, certain body parts, and then they like the attention, they want more attention, they start wearing shorter skirts, skimpier bathing suits, and you get the point, and the numbers grow, the attention grows, and it's a drug. Attention and validation is a drug to most women. I mean, all women like attention and validation, but some take it to a whole new level. And eventually gets to the point that, hey, you could do an OnlyFans account. You can make money. Talk about the ultimate validation to get guys to actually pay you money to have pictures of you, especially if as a chick is in her 30s, a mother, had kids, her body reflects having kids, and knows darn well she's well past her prime. You can all of a sudden not only have guys look at her, but pay to have guys look at her. You want to talk about the ultimate ego boost. So whenever people talk about, oh, it's just about the money, bullshit. It's about the attention and validation. And that drug, that high that they get from that attention and validation is like a coke addict. They want that high and will sacrifice anything to get that high. And in this case, their family, their kids. It's a disgrace. Goes on. When one of his wife's friends told her how much money she could make through sharing adult content on the paid-for-subscription platform OnlyFans and how freeing it was, she informed her husband she was going to sign up. Informed her husband, "Oh, no, honey. This is not what I married. I married the woman who is a school teacher. I married the woman who is an accountant. I didn't marry the woman that's going to now show herself and reveal her body parts to the world. It should be for my eyes only, just so you can feel young again. You can feel better about yourself, because it ain't about the money. And you're going to risk harm to our kids by doing this because of your giant ego? Oh, no. And by the way, notice he said here in the beginning of the article, the daughter's being bullied. 11-year-old. You think mom cares about that? Nope. He said that she's always been a free spirit. That's code for a carousel rider. And revealed her plan to quit her job once she got built up a profitable fan base. You do this, honey, we're done. And by the way, you see the mistake he made by allowing her to be on social media, being very active on social media. There you go. But he says that her decision has not only angered him, but upset their 11-year-old daughter, whose friends teased her about it when her mom put out a poll on Instagram asking if her followers would like to see her join OnlyFans. You think that her daughter's 11-year-old friends, 11-year-olds nowadays, aren't going to find out about that? And it's not going to spread like wildfire? Nothing like good gossip, huh? Oh, Jenny's mom is going to be on OnlyFans. How humiliating that is to the girl. These kids, some of these kids are going to become the parents, while the parents act like kids. Grow the fuck up, mom. He wrote on Reddit, "Now I'm strictly against this for two reasons. For my own personal reasons and because we have kids. I told that I'm uncomfortable dating a SCX worker and that our eldest has social media and so do her friends, and that would ruin her." Yes, it would. 11-year-old girl. When I know it was tough being at that age when I was a kid back in the late 80s. I can't imagine how hard it is to be a kid nowadays with social media and all that. Unbelievable. And being also 11 years old and a girl with hormones going crazy and emotions and all that. Not that emotions aren't going to go crazy your whole life, but you get my point. Think mom gives a crap? Nope. After his wife posted the poll on social media, he continued, "Our daughter screamed at her mother and nasty words were exchanged. They were not talking about this for 2 weeks ago," Yahoo reports. He says, "My wife went ahead and made the account anyway and already posted some pictures." That's her defiance. I bet you that wife went to her friends and said, "You know what my husband said to me? He said, you better not do that or we're done." And you know what her friends probably said? "Well, you show him." And I'd like to know if any of these friends of hers she's talking about happen to be single and would like her to be single too. Yesterday I told her I'm filing for divorce and I'd ask for full custody. I can't stand the shame that our daughter is heartbroken and being bullied at school. Good for you, Dad. Now, in a perfect world, he would be able to file for divorce, get custody of the kids, showing that the mother, through her actions, is providing a bad environment for the kids to grow up in, embarrassing them, humiliating them, setting the kids up for being bullied and all that. But unfortunately, we live in a world, you all know what I'm getting at here, where the guy, even the wife, is awful. Depending where you live, in the family courts, and the particular judge, especially with some SIMP blue pill judge, the mom's still going to get probably custody of the kids in half and all that. But you know what? He's standing up. He's not going to allow this. This is not what he married. And by the way, if there was the male equivalent to this, and a guy out of nowhere said, "I'm going to do something like is the male equivalent to this," whatever that may be, she'd have every right too to be pissed. Really. I'm fair here. She'd have every right to be pissed and say, it's not what I married. That's going to embarrass the kids. You do this, we're done. And she'd have every right. But we're seeing this all the time. It says, "I'm beyond pissed it would lead here. After asking for opinions of whether he had overreacted, one person replied to slam him, writing," he posted this on Reddit, and as you can imagine, lots of reactions. This is a quote from somebody on Reddit. "What kind of outdated 18th century mindset do you have thinking an OnlyFans account brings shame upon your family and children? Somebody actually said that. Well, I don't care if it's the 18th century or the 21st century, you're still trash. Okay? End of story. And also, this is not what he married into. They didn't go into the agreement, the business deal of marriage, because marriage is a business deal. She changed the plan. End of story. And by the way, I'm not hearing anything like they're in dire straits of having the bank foreclose on the house or anything like they need the money. No. It's about the attention and validation. I'm sure both he and his wife make an income, they comfortably live. So I want to hear it's all about the money or they're in trouble or something like that. It's a common story here all the time. These gals complain that, oh, I'm doing it because I need the money. There was a couple out in Arizona. I did an article on the other channel a few weeks ago that they're both teachers. One elementary school, one junior high. Maybe you guys heard this story. And they were doing OnlyFans. And on weekends, they were filming actual videos in the school. They broke into the school and were filming videos in the classroom. Got busted, lost their jobs. And the woman singing the blues and crying that we don't make enough money and all that stuff. And people from Arizona were commenting left and right on my chat on the other channel saying, bullshit. I live in Arizona. I heard about this story. I know what teachers make there because it's public knowledge. They're fine. And I don't want to hear about, the student loans are too high, because guess what? The student loan freeze has been going on for years now. And if I'm not mistaken, is going to be held off again for another 6 months. So it's bullshit. They just wanted the fame, the easy money, and they had kids. So there's no excuse. 18th century, my ass. Another guy said here, your daughter getting teased because her mom has an OnlyFans account is BS. Someone needs to teach her how to stand up for herself and her mom's bodily autonomy, and that sex work is real work. Well, someone needs to clunk you over the head, jackass, for that comment. Your daughter needs a mother. Your daughter needs a responsible, caring, unselfish role model, not a child in an adult's body. Because that's what these gals are that do this suddenly. It's one thing if the husband and wife got together and she was already doing that and he was aware of this. Okay, fine. I don't think kids should be raised in that environment, but if they were just together and they started off that way, that's one thing. But like this, out of nowhere, well, I went from being an accountant for H&R Block to all of a sudden becoming an OnlyFans star overnight. And never mind my kids and them being embarrassed. Never mind my husband. Nope. The attention and validation is way more important than that. And that's bullshit. Another one says, you have a family. You don't just run the second there's conflict. Go see a couples therapist, work on your issues. Tearing your family apart over this is weak. Well, I have to say, who's tearing the family apart? You know darn well a woman wrote that one. Who started this mess to tear the family apart? The guy or the wife? The wife. Her actions. Go see a therapist. A therapist is going to pretty much agree with her and tell the guy he's wrong, because that's probably what's going to happen. No. But others defended him, stating they would consider the decision to be a form of cheating, arguing that she violates your boundaries for the relationship and continue to do what she wanted without sparing a thought to you and your daughter. Amen. Now somebody's thinking logically here. And another said, your children are negatively affected and such a major lifestyle change requires mutual agreement and a partnership. Correct. If he was going to do something that was a major lifestyle change to them, it's only fair that he has her blessing for that. Now that is the end of that article. And I'm going to take a moment here before I read some of the comments, because they're always funny to read, to say this, go back to the beginning. Again, one of the big reasons why we have what we have today with the generation of kids, this has been going on for a while. What I've observed is the parents don't act like parents. The parents behave like children. And ever since really social media became the thing, it is a perfect example. You have these parents that never wanted to grow up. And it can go both ways. But when here we're talking about the OnlyFans thing, kids need stability. They need mom and dad to be good role models. What kind of role model of a parent is it when they're on social media all the time, posting this, posting that about their feelings or emotions, showing their body parts, trying to get attention on Instagram? I mean, come on here. I've seen, and I'm sure you guys have seen this too, women, 30s and 40s that have kids, they're there showing what they're legally allowed to do on, whether it be Instagram or TikTok and stuff like that. It's like, you're a mother. Start acting like one. Your kids need that, because otherwise they're going to act the same way. You know, parenting is just unbelievable. Earlier today, guys, I kid you not, just a few hours ago, I was having breakfast at a very nice place I like to go to during the off season. It's more expensive, but because it's more expensive, the different crowd of people there are more higher up and behaved. It's quiet, it's nice. I was there with a friend, and right next to me at a table, swear to God, there was a family of 4. And the entire time that they were there, that family of 4, I didn't hear them talk to each other at all. They only talked to the waitress. Do you know what they were doing when they were waiting for the food to arrive? I'm sure you all can guess. They were all sitting back in their chairs, looking at their phones. Every single one. First, it was the fat-ass father who was like 100 pounds overweight. He's leaning back. He's setting the example. His wife's over there next to the daughter. She's looking at her phone. The son, who is a fat-ass father in the making, he's like probably 12 and probably about 50 pounds overweight. Poor kid, and it's the parents' fault for that. He's there on his phone watching some like cartoon or something. The girl across there, same, the whole meal. I mean, parents, put down your phone. Talk to your kids. Find out what's going on in the kid's life. If the kids don't like it, tough shit. You know, or at least little kids have a coloring book or something. You know, when we were little kids, you had little coloring things at the restaurants. But you see what I'm talking about here? The kids are following the example of the parents. And it can go on multiple fronts. So this stuff with the OnlyFans business, good for the father for saying we're done. Because I'm not going to be living in the same house with you doing this, let alone embarrassing our kids. And she's the one tearing apart the family. The parents need to act like responsible, tough adults. And a lot of the parents, and I've been observing this for the last 20 years, they want to be the kid's best friend, be their buddy. And I'm all for being good with your kids. But you need to be, if you given the choice between being their buddy or being the tough parent that prepares them for a tough, harsh, competitive world and teaches them responsibility, respect, discipline, I'll take the tough parent any day of the week because that's better for the kid and society. As opposed to the parent that's just going to be the cool parent and never teaches them any personal responsibility, respect. Because nowadays, so many kids, they're wandering aimlessly in the world. They're immature, lack of respect, all that stuff. And I don't want to hear, oh, it's because it seems like we have no future. Is that a reason to act disrespectful and rude and all that? The parents aren't there to lay down the law, to discipline them, because the parents are too busy focused on themselves, their own attention. They're there not watching the kids or being involved with them because they're on their goddamn phones, posting stuff, reading what everybody else is doing. You become a parent, those kids come first in terms of, you know, you want to act like goof around, do that with your friends when your kids aren't around. But this is what we have today, and it's an absolute mess. But you know what? Here's the deal. And I'm just in a mood to rant here, but this is an important thing to say. There is hope, guys. There really is hope, and things can change. But it takes the parents to realize, I'm going to stop being selfish. I'm going to start acting like a freaking adult instead of these jackasses out there and raise my kids right. And the more parents do that, the more better behaved kids you're going to have out there. Because when everybody acts a certain way, it's kind of hard to, be different. But you got to be strong and not give in to this crap that everybody else is doing. But this is it's a mess. This is why I say Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0. But anyhow, guys, I had to get that off my chest. It's observing that this morning at breakfast is like ridiculous. Wherever you go, nobody ever talks to each other anymore, even families. Now, some comments here about the husband and father here, who is a hero in my opinion. One guy says here, I don't know if people who comment on and support the decision of these moms know what it's about. But OnlyFans is not only pictures only. There are all kinds of PORN, fetishism, and services that subscribers ask models to do. Usually the pictures are only the beginning. Subscribers get bored quickly. It's normal they pay money and ask for more. The videos they get end up being shared on social media and PORN sites. Yes, a lot of these OnlyFans gals, they make their real money through requests. They get messages and they'll have special requests to do this in a picture, this in a video. And the more graphic you get, the more money you make. So it starts with the social media, and then on social media, then they get more skimpy outfits, get more attention. Then it's OnlyFans. Then it's, just pictures of my butt. And the next thing you know, there's more things going on with her butt in videos to get money and yada, yada, yada. He says, besides the mother whose children were expelled from school a few weeks ago, is actually doing PORN now. Some videos where she used the voices of her kids in the next room as part of the scenes as she does, and are even a little shocking. If this is a normal environment for kids to grow up in, then the world is going crazy. The world is growing fucking crazy. I mean, I observe that every day. And that's an absolute disgrace. Now the guy says here, when you have kids, you need to be responsible for them too, and not only think of yourself. At least the father has a head in the right place. What money can do to a person? Yeah, and you know what? Statistically, she ain't making a lot of money. It's only a small percentage, less than 1%, that really make the alarming amounts of money per month on OnlyFans. A lot of them just make a few $100. Another one says here, when you decide to have kids, from the moment they are born, any decision you make in life that could affect them, be it mentally or physically, has to be your first priority. And if it affects them negatively, then as a responsible parent, you can't do it. Granted, his divorce threat is a bit of a knee-jerk, but her decision to open the OnlyFans account without proper thought or discussion of the consequences for all involved was downright selfish. You're damn right it's selfish, but in an environment where these same gals are being told that they're stunning and brave, that's the popular terms nowadays, and she's going to hear what she wants to hear, and probably has her friends, who are pieces of trash themselves, egging her on, who do you think she's going to go with? And probably would twist things around her mind to justify her actions, to say that the husband is the bad guy here for holding her back, not letting her be empowered or something. Another guy says here, many will think she's empowering herself, what I just say. Many will think that she's a shameful embarrassment to the family. Well, right here, she's a shameful embarrassment to the family. And again, if a man was doing something equivalent to this, whatever that may be, and being an embarrassment to the family, I'd be calling him too on that shit. And the last one says here, when you're married, in a relationship, have kids, you have other people to consider. You can't be selfish and expect everyone to think like you do. I wonder how she would feel if he wanted to do something similar and she didn't want him to do it. Poor daughter too. Yeah, I feel bad for that kid. I did a 4-part series on this channel. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw it, about this father and grandfather wrote in because his daughter's life is imploding. She was a teacher. Secretly, she started doing OnlyFans behind her husband's back, like graphic videos with another dude. Got caught because the students found it, and it's had a whole ripple effect on the whole family. And their kids are being bullied at school. They've had to take the kids out of school, I kid you not. And it's been this whole long, drawn-out series about just the negative effect. And not once does she ever actually admit she did something wrong. She thinks she's in the right, even though she's destroyed her marriage, the kids, all that. She doesn't give a shit. Attention and validation. And she claims it was about the money because her husband was making more than her, and she didn't like that because, she's an effeminist. It's a fucking mess out there, but it can change. There is hope. But it takes parents realizing, I'm going to actually act like a freaking adult, not like these jackasses out there, which has been the theme for pretty much at least 20 years since social media really became, when people started having their own little spotlight on themselves. Hopefully that can change, but it starts with the parents. So if you parents out there, or you future parents out there, really think about your actions and how you're going to raise those kids, because we as a society need that. We need strong, good role models raising kids so that the mess we're in doesn't continue. Because otherwise, these same kids that you're being their best friend to and being that cool parent and not raising them to be in a tough, competitive, harsh world with responsibility and respect and all that, newsflash, those kids aren't going to be able to take care of themselves. You're going to be taking care of them forever. And those same kids are going to have kids themselves, and you'll be taking care of them and your grandkids, because your kids you raised because you were the cool parent have no sense of responsibility, hard work, or discipline, anything like that. So keep that in mind. That will come back to bite you big time, and you ain't ever going to retire. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about this with regards not only just what he did here, divorcing his wife, which I'm sure 99.999% of you will agree with, but also the fact when I talk about with the kids and the parents not being parents and all that. I'd like to hear about that, because we all got to work together here. It has to be said about the messes being created by the parents but not being parents. It's very important. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.